Hello, fellow gardeners. Tara here. I just wanted to do a quick intro because I recently started doing Skype video lessons with Jeremy from Motivate Korean. And so I bring him questions of the Korean language, things that are hard for me to understand or things that I cannot differentiate very well. And he does his best to try to explain it to me to help me understand the language a little bit better. So I just wanted to preface the video with this and let me know if you guys have any questions as well about Korean. I might use one of your questions and ask Jeremy in a future video. So hope you guys enjoy. The first question I have is
All right.
the difference between 봤어요 versus 적이 있어요.
적이 있어요. So one more time. You said 봤어요?
Yeah.
Like
have
as in
you,
conjugated verb plus 봤어요?
yeah, like
Okay.
가봤어요?
Okay, let's
미국에
use an example
가봤어요?
first.
Okay.
가봤어요. And what
간,
was the 간 적이
yeah, 간
간
적이
적이
있어요.
있어요? 간 적이 있어요. Okay. The difference between the two. All right. That shows up on the screen, hopefully.
Yes.
All right, so these two are really similar in that you can use them in the same situation, pretty much interchangeably. So the
Yeah.
usage isn't actually much different, but the nuance is a little bit different. So talk by itself, it means like an experience. So like a time in your life when you had that experience. I've seen it used in other ways, like 때, 때, the double D plus E, or the H-looking one,
Yeah.
Um,
I.
때, yeah, meaning a point in time or an experience in your life. So 간 적이 있어요 is asking, do you have the experience of going there, or do you have the experience of eating live octopus? Something a lot of people ask in Korea, or they like to show foreigners. That's a very strange experience. So they're asking you if you've had that experience, whereas the other one is if you've tried doing that thing. So 가봤어요? Have you tried doing that thing? I usually explain the verb plus 보다. Okay. So the initial way that I learned this myself, and I suggest just memorizing it this way in the beginning, is verb plus 보다. Now, most people have already learned 보다 by this point, and 보다 is to see, right? And then if you go a little bit deeper, you learn that verb plus 보다 is kind of like try. So there's 먹어봐요. Someone says, oh, 먹어봐요, 먹어봐요. They
Yeah.
stick some weird food in your
Try
face.
this. Try eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try eating this. If we break it down literally, it's eat, see. So eat and see.
Yeah.
So when we say eat and see in English, we mean, oh, how spicy is this thing? Eat and see. It's like, try it, right? So it's similar to English in that way. But it is not with other verbs. It actually is used far more in Korean than we would use the try form in English. So when they would use it, we wouldn't say try at all in that situation. So it's important with Korean and in general with language learning and with these kind of nuanced differences, not to think in terms of meaning, but to think in terms of context,
Right.
situations. So every phrase gets a certain situation, gets a certain context. So Koreans will use this form in way more contexts than we would use the try this or do and see this in English. For example, my wife once, let's see, I was holding a cup of coffee and a bag, and I needed to open the door, to get my key out to open the door to get into my house. And I wanted to ask my wife to hold my coffee for a sec.
Yeah.
For a sec. And I said, 좀 들어봐. 들어봐. So 들다 is to lift or to hold in that sense, like to hold up. And I said 들어봐, meaning like, here, hold this for a sec. So in that situation, I would translate it as for a sec. But when I stick some weird food in your face and say 먹어봐, 먹어봐, that's not like eat this for a sec. That wouldn't make any sense, right? So it's eat and see. So you kind of have to synthesize these different contexts and get a feeling for what the word or what this thing is doing. So 가봤어요 is saying, did you go? Did you check it out? It's lightly. It sort of lightens the thing that you're saying.
Yeah.
So did you go? Whereas if someone said 갔어요, it's a little more like in bold font. You went? You went there? Versus 가봤어요? Oh, did you try going there? Did you go and see? Did you check out that place? Check out is similar. Check out is a sort of light feeling. Did you check it out? It doesn't mean you went there and lived there for 6 months. That's not a checking it out, right? Whereas 간 적이 있어요? 있어요, the verb means to have or for there to be. So when someone asks you 간 적이 있냐고, when they ask you that, they're asking specifically if you have the experience of doing that or not. They're inquiring about the existence of that experience. So this may be more fitting in a situation where, say, a doctor is asking you if you've been to a country where there's a malaria outbreak or something, right? That might be more relevant. The doctor might want to know if you have that experience or not. He's not going to say, this malaria-ridden country, 가봤어요?
Yeah,
that would
not make much sense, like in that context. Yeah.
So you want to try restating that in the way you understand it?
So the way I understand it, like 봤어요 is like, have you tried? Usually, like 가봤어요 is like, have you tried going there, or like have you visited? Because my 교감 선생님, he said like 그랜드 캐니언 가봤어? And so I was just like, oh no, I've never been there. And 적이 있어요, like you said, is experience. I actually, tell me if this is wrong, but is it more along the lines of like, have you ever? Blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So
when we say have you ever, we're inquiring, in your lifetime, is the experience of going to the Grand Canyon,
like, does it exist?
is it there?
Yeah.
Does it exist there on the list of the things you've done? Whereas 가봤어요, he's saying Grand Canyon 가봤어? He's saying, have you checked out the Grand Canyon? Did you go there and take a couple photos? Did you go there for a few hours? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas he's not inquiring about the list of your life experiences and what's on that list or not.
If like my 교감 선생님 asked me that, like Grand Canyon 가봤어? Would I be able to respond with 간 적이 없어요?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could say that. That's what I mean by they are both usable in the same situation. You could pay for something with two $10 bills or a $20 bill.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
That kind of
but
thing.
they carry different meanings. Yeah. So they can fit in the same situation, but they have a different nuance. So this is a nuance difference thing.
Next one is, I see this so often. It's like attaching 겠다 to things, like how you just said, like 알겠어요, like when we were messaging, or when I leave work for the day, I always say 먼저 가보겠습니다, which is like a really long freaking word, but I don't.
It's the right thing to say.
I have like an idea of what like means, but I still want like clarification on like what exactly it means.
Yeah. This is a really good question, because this one took me, I think, years to really synthesize, and now I get it. But again, the reason all of these things that are hard for at this level where you're at now, everything that's hard is a result of not having it in English.
Yeah.
Or it being different from English, right? If it was a one-to-one, it would be easy. 가다 is go, so that's easy to remember, right? Okay, so we'll look at 알겠어요, but it's not a very good example because it's such a clearly set phrase. This is 알다 plus ket, the ket ending thing there. It's a set phrase, and I guess if we work it out right now, we might be able to tie it in and explain the nuance to it. But let's use a different example.
I have some that are a little
Okay,
difficult, but
cool. What are they?
this is what one of my Korean friends had typed in like my Discord. I have like a Discord chat.
Okay.
So he said, 알고 있어야겠어요. Yeah, 알고
Wow.
있어야겠어요.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone write that. 알고 있어야겠어요. Like this?
Because it's just like so many small things that I have to like extract and then like put back
Yeah.
together, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, this
yeah.
isn't just because this has come up. 나왔으니까. I'll mention that 알고 있어요 is the right way to say I know.
Mm.
알아요 is rude.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
sounds rude to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I know. Shut up. I know.
Yeah.
I already know that thing. Whereas 알고 있어요, very weird in English. I am knowing, right? I am knowing that. Why would you ever say that?
Mhm.
But it's just good to remember that as a one-to-one translation for I know.
Okay.
알고 있어요. Yeah.
Okay.
So that makes this one a little bit simpler. 알고 있어요. The ya here is a different point. In the 알고 있어야겠어요, that ya is a different thing.
Mm.
Do you want to talk about that one, or do you want to stick with ket first?
Um, well, I thought of it as like has to know.
Yeah, so it's good to think of it as has to, for example. 해야 돼요.
Mm-hmm.
This ya is kind of like so that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So that.
So that. So the thing before it, so that the next thing. 해야 돼요. So 먹어야, I'm super hungry right now. I'm going to die if I don't eat. So I would say 먹어야 돼요.
Mm-hmm.
돼요, which I know you know this, but for anyone watching this, I have a video on my channel kind of explaining the nuanced meaning of 돼요. And although it translates to be or become, it kind of it represents sort of a manifesting. Something is coming into existence. It's arising. It's becoming. It's in that way. So 먹어야 돼요. Eat so that I can continue living this manifest life and not disappear off the face of the planet.
Right.
Because I die from starvation, right? So 먹어야 돼요. This ya is kind of like so that. I'm sure in the comments we could, if people had questions, we can discuss that one more. So let's take a simpler example that likely everyone has seen. 잘 먹겠습니다.
Yeah, I say that
Right.
every day.
Now, 잘 먹겠습니다 it means like I'm gonna eat well, and it's a very common thing to say before eating, as you should always say it before eating. The ket there indicates a certain future. It's saying strongly that I'm gonna do that, or this thing is gonna happen with some level of certainty. So 내일 비가 오겠어요. It's gonna rain tomorrow. A lot of English speakers, I think, learn this incorrect self, and they think that this is the equivalent of the certain future. 올 거예요.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what I thought for a very long time too. 비가 올 거예요, we are taught that 올 거예요 is the future tense of 오다. And so in English, if we say, oh, tomorrow it will rain, that is certain. So when I want to say that in Korean, I say 올 거예요, 비가 올 거예요. But that's actually incorrect. 올 거예요 is less certain than 오겠어요.
Ah, okay.
오겠어요 is certain. Or you could say, again, if we're tying Korean to situations, you would say this in a situation when you are relatively certain about what's going to happen. It doesn't actually need to rain tomorrow. I'm not a weatherman or something, but if I say that, it's saying to me, this is certain. So a lot of times people say, okay, for example, I say, oh, I do a YouTube channel, and they say, oh, 봐야 되겠어요. 봐야 되겠어요. So that's 오다 there. I would translate this as like I'll have to check it out. 봐야 되겠어요. 봐야 되겠어요. The get there is indicating certain future. Now, this is a weird thing, but you can say, yeah, I got to check it out and not actually intend to check it out at all. Right. Just because the words are that way doesn't mean that's what the person means. So maybe that's why this can be confusing. So 잘 먹겠습니다, you're saying, with certainty, in this moment, I'm going to eat well. This thing that you made for me, I'm so grateful that I'm going to eat it well. I'm going to enjoy it. 내일 비가 오겠어요. Tomorrow it's going to rain. I'm pretty certain about that. My wife said this one time, and this is when it really clicked for me, like, oh, that's how you use it. She said, 누가 오겠어? So it was like 12:30 at night, and we heard a sound that sounded like a knock at the door. And I was like, what the hell? What?
Yeah.
And she was like, 누가 오겠어? Like who's going to come at this time?
Yeah.
Like who's coming right now? That's kind of the way I interpreted it. And it ended up just being like a water heater or something making a weird sound. But it's like, who's going to come at this time? See, there's not really any certain prediction about the future, but it's like gonna.
Yeah.
I guess, to put it simply, guess is like gonna.
Okay.
So back to your question again. What was the yeah.
Well, because I feel like getta has like two meanings almost, or two like indications, and one is like the future. I felt that, like the future, but also like I'd call it like a verb softener as well. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because like
Yeah.
you add it on to make the sentence seem a little less direct, and like I thought maybe it could mean like seems like for
같다.
Okay.
That would be 같다. But what you may be noticing is that it often comes in this form. 하겠네. It often will show up with 네.
Yeah.
And the ne at the end right there is a nuance tag indicating that the speaker is sort of realizing this thing that they're saying for the first time.
Yeah.
They're just realizing it. Like, oh, 내일 비가 오겠네. I walked outside and it's, super cloudy, and I think, oh yeah, I guess it's probably gonna rain tomorrow. I guess now I'm certain that it's gonna rain tomorrow. And in that sense, they're saying, oh, 비가 오겠네. So 겠네 together is used a lot when you're getting to know a new person. Like they say, oh, I work at Samsung, and you could say, oh wow, 공부를 잘 하셨겠네요.
Yeah.
That's like, then you must have studied really well, or you must have done really well in school. You must have. That's 겠다, 겠네. When you say you must, oh, you must be tired, right? Oh, you were up all night last night. You must be tired. When I say must, I'm indicating some level of certainty that you're tired because you didn't sleep last night, right? That's 겠.
Okay.
But when I say, oh, that's 네. That's saying, oh, I'm realizing this right now. You just told me you're tired. You know what I mean? So that's that's this realization thing that's happening. So those two will happen. They'll come together. Oh, you must have, maybe we use it with must have too. Oh, that must have been difficult. Oh, you must have had such a hard time with that. Oh, that must have been really fun. All of those things would be 겠네, 겠네요, 겠네요.
Okay. I have an example sentence that has 겠네.
Okay, cool.
So, again, my friend said, we were talking about if he like turns off notifications, like because at night, like when he sleeps, like it's probably gonna be uncomfortable hearing the notifications. And so he said, 조금 불편할 수도 있겠네요.
조금
불편할 수도 있겠네요.
Okay. And how did you interpret this?
Well, 수도 있다 means might, basically. That there's a possibility that this could happen. And 불편하다 is to be uncomfortable. So he's saying like it might be
So
a bit uncomfortable for him if he leaves the notifications on, I
well,
guess.
I'm guessing that you said this to him and he never thought of it before. And so he's saying, oh, yeah, I guess it could. Yeah, I guess it could be kind of uncomfortable for you or for me or for anyone because the subject isn't clear in Korean. Oh, yeah, I guess it could be uncomfortable. Sorry. Oh, yeah, I guess it could be kind of uncomfortable to have your phone ringing all night while you're sleeping.
Check, because I think he actually is the one that asked us if we leave the notifications on. Yeah, he asked if we mute this chat room. I basically have two Koreans that are in my Discord. One lives in the U.S., so he I think was born in the U.S., but maybe not. And this other one he lives in Korea. So another friend was asking if he still gets like alarm or notifications, and he said, my friend said, 잠잘 때는 조금 불편할 수도 있겠네요.
잠잘 때는. Okay. So he's the one who brought it up, though?
Yes, and then the other one said 아니요, 괜찮아요, and some other words that are too difficult for me to say, but
okay. 잠잘 때는. There's a long sentence, lots of stuff in here that
yes.
could confuse people. So we'll go back to the 수. You said 불편할 수 있다, right?
수도.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So the 수 by itself represents the possibility.
Yes.
The 도 is saying like 할 수 있네요. 할 수도 있네요. Like, oh, that could be possible.
But
could
there's
plus
other
possible.
possibilities as well.
Yeah, it's adding something on. 할 수 있네요. That's like, oh, that's possible. 할 수도 있네요. Oh, that could be possible.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I use this form when I'm talking with someone and say I disagree with their opinion, but I want to like kind of respect their opinion and not just say, oh yeah, that's not possible. I'd say, oh, I guess that could be possible too, but I think this way. So I use this 수도 있다 form there. So 잠잘 때는 when you sleep. 잠 is sleep as a noun. 자다 is to sleep as a verb. So when you sleep, and the 때 there is like when. So as for when you sleep, 조금, pronounced like a double G there, which you pronounced correctly. 조금.
Okay.
조금. They usually don't say 조금. I don't think I hear that very much. 조금 불편할 수도 있겠네요. So he's realizing this to himself for the first time, that it must be. It must be uncomfortable. It could be such that it would certainly be uncomfortable for some of you to have your phone ringing while you're sleeping. Maybe he sleeps like a rock and it never occurred to him that having his phone buzz next to him would be a problem. Right? But someone else says, oh, I'm actually kind of sensitive to that. And he says, oh yeah, 잠잘 때는 조금 불편할 수도 있겠네요. Oh yeah, I guess it is possible that this could definitely, certainly be something that is uncomfortable or bothersome to someone when they're sleeping.
You know, I just realized, I think he's talking about the time difference, because one of the other Korean lives in America, and so if my friend and I are talking a lot in that like Discord channel, then maybe the one who's living in America might get a lot of notifications, and maybe when he's sleeping, yeah, okay, that must be it then.
That makes more sense, yeah. Than just saying about the notifications, because otherwise you would never have to worry about that.
Right.
So I turn off the notifications on Kakao Talk for that reason, because otherwise it's just like katok while I'm sleeping, you know. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Again, Korean is always a secondary to context. So now that you figured that out, the context made everything make sense.
Yeah.
So that's why self-study without a real Korean person in your life isn't very effective. Yeah, for anyone who's self-studying without Korean friends, 어렵겠네요. 어렵겠네요.
Perfect use, yes.